This is Presto, and I am back for part 38 of the Human Journal. This journal I call, What is Popular? Yes, what is the idea of being popular? There's so many of us that do whatever to be popular. And it may not apply to everybody. There's a good number of people that like to stay at low profile, but a good number of people will go at great length to be popular. And I'm going to talk about my breakdown, what this idea means to me, and I'm going to also say something here that I'm going to tell everybody up front. A spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about a movie that I saw recently. So I'm going to talk about a scene in this movie, okay? Not really the end, but the scene. And this movie I'm talking about is The Peanuts. For those that grew up watching Charlie Brown and Snoopy, yeah, I saw that movie recently. I enjoyed it, and I got me inspired to do this chapter. But it's not just that movie, but this other stuff that's going through my mind that I'm inspired to do this chapter. But but Peanuts, the movie, really kind of pushed me to really discuss about this idea about popular. Just being popular. Yeah. So it's going to be a spoiler alert, okay? So just let you know, just giving you a warning. All right? All right. So, I had a brief discussion with a friend of mine before I did this clip, doing this recording. And I asked her this question. What is the alternative of being popular? Right? And she'd say, unconditional love. I said, oh, okay. All right. And she went on and say, I'm going to say some stuff in my own words, what she said, but she was just basically telling me that, you see, being popular is conditional love, okay? And so we was talking about the movie that we saw recently, The Peanuts, but we just talking about the whole idea about being popular. So yeah, it's based on conditional love, and whether she was telling me whether the person, no matter who it is, whether the person is a screw up or whatever these egotistic labels that we put on ourselves, no matter who it is, everybody deserves love. Everybody. And she put it very well, and I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. I really agree with what she said, because it is true, It is very egotistic, the idea of being popular, and it's just amazing because, you see, we grew up, and everything starts, my take on it starts from school, okay? It's your first day in school, okay? And let's say you start realizing the popular kids, okay? There are some cases like that. So it's your first day in school, right? And you see how popular these kids are, whether it's one kid or maybe a group, a small group that's so popular throughout the school or maybe the class, whatever. And some of you will go about want to be part of the group because you wanted to feel popular. You wanted to grab some of that whatever, that energy, that power, or not just power, but you just want the worthiness, you want the love, you want everybody to think that you're cool because you're hanging out with certain kids, right? And that's how it starts in school, right? This whole idea is about who you know, or the connections that you get, all that. They falls under the same idea about being popular, okay? About, getting to know people that's popular, okay? So you get the perks and all that. And people think that you're cool because, again, you're hanging out with certain people, or let's say certain kids, whatever. So Yeah, that started from school, you know. I mean, it does, you know. Or let's just say you, okay. Let's say your first couple of months, for example, right? You start in school and you've done something heroic, whatever, or something that's so like wow, it's so like it got everybody's attention, right, in school, right? And then suddenly you became popular. You become popular. Like everybody that you felt that's not or don't want nothing to do with you, that don't want to be your friends, suddenly they're your friends. And yeah, you got that. So and then you got people saying, oh, you should run for class president. So I realize that like the school, I look at these grade schools, and it's like it's a perfect model for the egotistic world that we put together. It is. It really is. You know, popularity in school, for example, it ranges from, let's say, you being the most popular kid, whether if you're a boy or girl, okay? All right, let's say mostly for the boy, let's say the boys, for example, you got the looks, you got the. I remember in school they always talk about sneakers, right? One kid got the flyest sneakers, right? And everybody wants that and all that, right? And because you wearing a certain particular brand name of a sneaker or a pants, jacket, whatever, right? That gives you, it's like you become one of the coolest kids. You know? It's like, wow, and everybody's looking towards you. And it's so egotistic. It's like, but what about if he strapped his clothes away? You're still you. Without the Nikes and without the Filas and without all these damn brand names that we grew up in school, Tommy Hilfiger and all that brand, you're still you. I mean, you're still consciousness. You understand? You're still consciousness. You just decided to put on some material with a freaking label on it. That's it. You see how puny this egotistic world that we created? So I mean, it's like nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong if you want it to look good. There's a certain energy that goes into it about in order to what? You wanted to wear something because, again, it's not just about, and this goes, and every case is different now. This is something that you have to really think and look within yourself, everyone, okay? Because it's very tricky to see on the outside. There's nothing wrong that you want to dress good. Nothing wrong with that. There's a certain energy that you put into it, and a good number of you understand what I'm talking about. So you want to wear something, right? You want to get the attention, and you want people to, accept you or acknowledge you. A lot of it has a lot to do with acknowledgement and all that. That's the big mechanism about being popular, acknowledgement. And so yeah, a lot of kids, some kids will be dressed a certain way. But then, I'm back in school, you never wanted to wear something that's considered a reject. Oh my gosh. You wear a sneaker that's not considered in the most coolest list, you're not going to be looked at. Everybody's going to be laughing at you. But it's funny. If you wore a sneaker that you consider a reject and you decide to wear, let's say, a pair of Nikes, let's say a pair of Jordans, the very kid that's laughing at you, they're going to start hanging with you. Shucks. It ranges from, and that's how the whole thing starts with peer pressure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it starts peer pressure. And all that stuff is mental. But it's all ego. All of it. So peer pressure. So let's just say, here's another example. All right? You wanted to smoke, right? But let's give a scenario. You got a group of kids that smoke, right? But those are the coolest kids, right? But you want to be cool too, right? So how are you going to do that? A good number of you say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get into smoking now. So you're going to start smoking. You start coughing. Don't like it, but you're going to just, man up. Just for the boys now I'm talking about. You're going to man up, kind of just suck it up, smoke it, stay outside of school and start smoking. Because you want to feel worthy. You want to get that acknowledgement. You want to be popular. You want all the girls look at you and say, oh, wow, and all that. Yeah. That particular program or that example I've been telling you, that's been going on for generation to generation. Yeah, a lot of us, we do different things to become popular. Yeah, it is. But if you do something again, if you decide not to take that route, you're not going to be looked at as the popular kid, excuse me. You're not. You're not going to get the girl that you like, right? How are you supposed to get the girl that you like? You gotta be the popular one, the popular person, or you gotta be hanging out with the popular kids. All of that, all ego. And yes, even a girl that decides to like you because you're hanging out with somebody, or you're just basically somehow she just suddenly acknowledged you because you've done certain things. You understand? You did something, right? That suddenly, even though you tried different ways, and she somehow don't acknowledge you, but you did something. That was a game changer. You've done something to basically get her attention. And again, it's egotistic, and it's conditional love. So, I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth, everybody. All the people in the school consider you, or like, let's say, worthy and all that stuff, right? They don't really look at you that way. You got to ask yourself this question. Are they going to always look at you? Are they going to always appreciate you? Are they going to always love you who you are? Regardless of what direction you take in your life. That's the question. But again, our own ego, we're not going to see it that way for the moment. We're just going to go on, we're going to go for the ride. So yeah, we got that in school. So yeah, school is the perfect model for the egotistic world. Oh yeah. Yeah. Grade school, high school, college. Oh yeah. College is the same thing. So you got these groups, what do you call it? These fraternity groups or whatever you call it. Sorry. You know what I'm talking about. You got these groups, you got to get in. It's like some damn club. It's the same stuff, man. It's the same thing. You know, you're wet between your ears. You're brand new in college, right? In campus, right? You know, let me say this. This is so weird. Let's say you're the class president in high school. I'm gonna call this stuff out so much. You're the class president in high school. You're so popular. Let's say you're not only the class president in high school, right? But you're the team captain in high school. All that, right? You got all that. You got all the accolades. You got the dean's list and all that, right? Everybody in high school love you, and you just feeling good. It feels good, right? Come to school, everybody say, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? What's going on?" It's just. I mean, maybe you may not like school, maybe, but what makes it even more extra fun is that when you go to school, right, you got people love you. Even the teachers, they appreciate you, right? Oh, great. Everything's great. Here's another thing that comes with the whole popularity thing. You see, when you leave high school and you go to college, you got to start all over again. I've seen and heard cases like this, and they even play stuff like this on movies. But I can't name the movie at the moment. But the thing is that you got to start all over again. All that you're the coolest, or you're the top of the dean's list in high school, you're the class president in high school, and you're the, let's say you're the star player in football, whatever. All that's behind. That's not following you in college. Oh, no. You're just a freshman. You got to prove yourself worthy. You got to start all over again. That's the beauty thing about being popular, everybody. It just is. It sucks, right? It does. You know? Yeah, you got to do something. So you got to figure something out to spark some sort of, I don't know. You got to do something monumental Okay, you're a freshman on a big college campus, right? Right? And it's a different game now. It applies to sports too. I mean, Chuck, yeah, the team captain. You're the team captain in football, for example, right? But you may do well in high school, but you hear the story before everybody. Oh, I mean, you're not in high school anymore. You got to start all over again. You're in college now. Same thing for the people that graduate from college. They go into the pros. You got to start all over again. You was a star athlete in college, but that don't mean nothing. But now you're in the pros now. All the love and all the stuff, the appreciation that you got in college football, when you go into pros, that's behind you now. You got to work your way up. And that's the big thing about humanity on that. And many, many levels. You got to work your way up. You got to have the stats. I got to tell you this. It's very hard to please the ego mind. Oh, yes, it is. You see, you got to have the Bible of stats. You see, if you're like, let's just say you turn yourself into a straight A, and you got let's say you got all the cheat sheet codes and everything. You're just like a walking genius, right? Right? You got to be a walking genius for people to love you from every situation that you go from one part and one part. But the funny thing with the ego is that you're going to always find somebody or somebody to tell you you are not good enough. Even though you're so popular. You're very popular. You've got all the accolades and all those things. But you're not good enough still. I mean, you even show the Bible of stats and look at all the stuff that you have completed. Look at all the certificates and awards that you've got. Sometimes, the thing, the kicker, everybody, about all this is that sometimes it doesn't always work. It's strange how the ego works. It doesn't always work out that way. So yeah, to go back, and to go back, I was saying about school, I mean, you leave high school, I mean, you go to college, and you got to, you fall under that same ego trip. You want to do everything you can to be popular, and even with sports, like I was telling you about sports, you got to start all over again, forget what you did in high school, forget what you did in grade school, yeah. All that stuff is conditional. All of it. I mean, you are worthy, everybody. You are. You are brilliant. But the thing is, everybody, that when you rely on the ego so much, you're gonna be disappointed. And I'm gonna emphasize this in this chapter. Oh yeah, I'm going to. So I want to go on with the movie. I want to start off about the movie Peanut. Okay. There was a scene that Charlie Brown, right? He was taking a test, right? And he had to turn in his test. Time was up, and he had to run to the desk, to the teacher's desk. Peppermint Patty was coming right at the same time she finished, and they was like fighting each other a little bit, kind of like pushing rubbing their elbows and trying to see who turned in the test papers first. And so when the test papers all mixed up, and Charlie Brown wrote his name and all that, and she wrote her name and her test paper and all that, there was a mix-up and everything, right? So anyway, they just get test papers, right? And the results came in. Charlie Brown, he got 100. He had 100. People didn't expect that. You got 100? And he's like, he couldn't believe himself. He just could not believe that he got 100. So what happened is that everybody was like, all the kids that because Charlie Brown's always considered the character, that's the role, he's always considered to be pathetic, always down on himself or whatever, right? Guy's all egotistic and everything, just feeling down about himself, right? But suddenly, because of this test score that he got, people couldn't believe it and all that, everybody was like looking into him. Like, wow. They treated Charlie Brown like he was Jesus Christ. They follow him wherever he goes. It's like everything, see, it's funny. Everything that he was doing, the movie highlighted that everything that Charlie Brown was doing, it was just great. It was like a miracle. It's like he had like a magic hand. He touched this, everything worked out right. Everything is like boom, boom. It goes with the whole idea about being popular. And everybody was dressing like him. Everybody was walking behind him. You got kids, the kids in school wanted to go in class, and his sister invited. Charlie Brown was studying. He had to study because he had to do a book report. He looked up and he knows his old classmate was in his room because his sister. Her sister was capitalizing the whole hype. She was having fun with the whole thing. She invited the whole classmate. Everybody wanted to watch Charlie Brown study. They wanted to watch him study because, again, it's the whole thing about being popular. But nobody before didn't want to do that. Nobody didn't want to go. None of his classmates want to go inside and hang out with him like that. Because he'd done something. He'd done something, people saw that, and then boom, that's happened. That's how the whole thing happened. Now, Lucy, the character Lucy, she didn't really like, she was jealous. She didn't really, she wasn't really falling for the whole thing with Charlie Brown and all that. So, anyway, later, a couple of scenes in the movie later, Charlie Brown, when he was on a stage and before he was about to accept his award and everything, his award, but his book report and everything, right? And it's not just about the test that he took earlier, but the book report. He got an award. Okay, he was teaming up with this, and there's a new character in the movie. I'm not going to say this, but I just want to focus on this part. When Charlie Brown realized the test score that he passed in class, not the book report, but the test score, the test paper, he realized that because he saw he drew a happy face on his test paper. When he realized that the test paper that he did, and he realized right away quickly that 100 that he scored wasn't his test report. It was Peppermint Patty's. It was her test report. Yeah, it was hers. So when Charlie Brown realized that to himself, and he looked around the audience when he's about to receive his award for his, he did very well on a book report test, he had to look for a moment which is the best thing to do. Give up his popularity or be honest about what happened. So when Charlie Brown mentioned about what happened, about the test score that he scored 100 wasn't his, Lucy, that was sitting with the stage and everything, she was wearing a Charlie Brown shirt. She got up and said, aha! Even though she played the game of being a fan, but she was just basically being a hater on the side. Let's just put it that way. She was just being a two-faced. She said, aha! And then she sat right back down, kind of blushing and all that. And I look at all those things, the character, the behavior, how the characters are. A lot of people do that stuff. There's so many examples I could talk about being popular, how people act towards one another. I mean, we don't like somebody, yet we hold the person up, but then secretly, you don't like this person. You're waiting for this person to slip up. So that way, your own ego mind will fulfill some sort of joy, some twisted joy to say, aha, you see, I knew it. And then everybody else becomes like a domino effect. Everybody, and all the people that talk about how you're the greatest and how you all that, okay, everybody will follow along with people that don't like you in the first place. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not talking about the movie. What I'm trying to say is, let me say this again. When somebody becomes popular, and then let's say you have one character that don't, like I was giving an example with this movie, Snoopy. With Lucy. You have one person that don't like you, but then suddenly they're a fan of yours, suddenly. But when you slip, okay, when you slip or something happens, that person that claims to be a fan of yours, they're going to say all type of things to ridicule you, everything. And then other people that really talk about they're your fans, they're going to follow along with that person most likely, and they're going to say, oh, I thought you was this and all that. What happened? And then suddenly those people will just walk away. I mean, what happened to the idea of that you're the greatest? You're wonderful. What happened to all that? It's just amazing. Oh, wow. Another thing I wanted to mention too, this idea about being popular. As I'm sharing this about the movie and everything, Justin Bieber. I just thought of Justin Bieber for a second, right? Because the scene that Charlie Brown, his classmate, was dressing like him. I just thought of Justin Bieber because a lot of his fans, you see, a lot of his fans want to have a similar haircut than he has, and they call themselves a believer. I don't know what they call it, a believer, right? And when I first saw that, I realized that's a Justin Bieber follower, whatever, or a disciple, whatever it is. It's just that it's amazing how the whole behavior about being popular is. Now, let me say this. Now, the kid, Justin Bieber, he got discovered because he was showing talent on YouTube. He got discovered, and then, he aligned himself what he wants to do. A lot of people don't like him because they feel that the people that don't like Justin Bieber or anybody, right? It's strange how this whole paradigm comes with different things. The people that don't like him is because they're unhappy with their life, because they rely on their ego so much, they're unable to line themselves up at the moment where they want to be. So you're going to hate this kid, regardless what he does and regardless how he acts. Okay, whether the person is allowing himself to be successful and yet still be egotistic, that's the person's choice. You see, everybody deserves unconditional love. Everybody. No matter if you're a screw-up, like my friend was telling me earlier, like I was telling you what my friend told me. No matter if you're a screw-up, whatever, everybody deserves to be worth to know that they are worthy. Okay, they're worthy regardless what they do in their life, and they deserve unconditional love. It doesn't matter what they do in their life, whether they screw up or not. And I just want to mention that because about Justin Bieber, because about Charlie Brown, his classmates, they was all dressing like him, and I thought about all of his fans. All his fans looked just like him, and they called them. They changed their name up. Let's say their username on Twitter or Facebook. They call it Belieber, whatever. Whether it's a boy or girl, it doesn't matter. But it's a dedicated fan of Justin Bieber. But the funny thing is about, like I was saying, I want to emphasize this. The funny thing is, let's just say Justin Bieber done something that's unhumane, right? That's a big thing, that humanity somehow stands behind someone that does something that's so that's, let's say, unhumane. Let's just say Justin Bieber killed an animal, okay? Nothing dies, but let's just say he abused a dog. Yeah, I'm gonna mention a dog. We got a lot of dog lovers out there. I love dogs too, but let's just say Justin Bieber or whoever become abused dog. The popularity of that person would drop. Yeah, it would drop. I mean, shucks, look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick, his popularity dropped. So, it just plummeted. Because he had a side business about a dog fight or whatever they call it. And people, yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's just amazing. all the sports endorsement, all that's gone. And like I told you, you do something, you screw up or whatever you do, people that talk about they love you, they're going to act like they don't even know you. That's what I'm saying. This is an example, everybody. This is the stuff that holds a lot of people back. This is what makes humanity small. It does. It does. It's a level, it's part of consciousness. It's a level. That's why I will say this. That's why I don't really see myself just human. I don't. Being human, I realized, I was telling my friend of mine before I wanted to do this recording, I told my friend of mine that, one of the things that I learned about being human and this experience is that if you do not know who you are, okay, if you don't have some sort of foundation in your spirit, your core, meaning that you acknowledge that you are consciousness through and through, you see, if you don't know who you are, you see, the whole idea about being human, you're going to drift away. You will. You will drift away if you don't know who you are. And I'm talking about being firm, knowing who you are, seriously. You're going to be drift away. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be really, really disappointed. Because we rely on people's approval, or whether we're going to be popular or not, right? We rely on our own ego to fulfill our happiness. But then a lot of us, a good number of us, realize that it's not doing the trick. You're going to rely on your ego for your happiness, everybody? You want to go ahead and be popular? Go ahead. But you're going to be disappointed. You will be disappointed. You may feel great for the moment, but like I said, you do something that's radically different, for example, hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but a good number of people go through this. I mean, what's a perfect illustration about somebody going through the ups, and then being dragged down like hard? What's the perfect illustration? Okay. Somebody that's a celebrity and a politician. I mean, celebrities, no matter if it's regardless who it is, they're a perfect illustration. People love them. I was just talking about Justin Bieber, sorry, yeah. I mean, like Justin Bieber, he's popular now. But let's just go talk about other people, okay? Other people that's very popular at one time. And then it became unpopular. That's why I understand why a lot of celebrities have this image consultant. You have to have an image consultant. Same thing like politicians. Politicians and celebrities have image consultants. So if you do something that's radically different, let's say you speak your mouth, you want to speak something, right? And your image consultant, they come in there, they try to clean everything up for you. They'll try to add words, stuff that saying things like, well, he or she didn't really mean it like that. What the person meant was blah, blah, blah. So the image consultant, they are like a safety net to keep your popularity out there. Oh, my God. This stuff is so twisted. Oh, man. So, yeah. So the image consultant, they will do their best. And that's why you hired them. Okay? They will just try to clean the stuff up for you. Okay? Now, if stuff gets really, really, really bad, and your image consultant, when your image consultant can't clean stuff up for you, that's why a lot of people used to go to Oprah to cry. You heard this joke before me, but a lot of people make these jokes about it. So yeah, you got somebody, an actor or a politician will go to Oprah Winfrey show and start crying. That's the last resort. Okay, if your image consultant can't take care of your mess. So you go to this talk show, whether it's Oprah Winfrey or somebody has the credential and so popular. You have to go to a popular talk show to reconcile yourself, to tell the public that I didn't mean to. My life was like all messed up. And then America looks onto you and like, oh my gosh, Timmy, oh John, oh Jennifer, oh my gosh, I look at this person crying on TV. We should just forgive him. And it's so artificial. It's so full of it. I'm like, wow, you gotta do certain things. You gotta prove yourself to other people. You gotta cry at a talk show for all the celebrities and politicians, for those that does this. But that's the thing. That's the whole idea about you want to hold your popularity up. You will hold your popularity tight like a Bible. Because without your popularity, you're nothing. You're just a damn loser. Nobody doesn't know who you are. And that's the thing. I'm just calling out the ego, everybody. I'm just calling it out. It does. It is twisted. It's an experience, though, you know. But people do different things to be popular. Whether people do things by a publicity stunt or whatever. People want to be acknowledged. People want to be worthy. They want to feel that. But the thing is, you see, what your own ego doesn't tell you, that you are worthy. Even though you don't do any of these things. Even if you don't do anything that's some sort of, even if you don't do any publicity stunt, or your hair don't look a certain way, or you don't say certain things, you're still worthy. You still love your consciousness. But your own ego mind won't say that. You got to prove something to people. And this is what makes humanity small. It does. It really does. I'll call it out. A lot of you can take what I'm saying or leave it. If you're offended, then your ego is roughed up. But I'm not going to hold back. I've been observing this behavior among people for as long as I've been in this world. And I observe myself as well. I kind of take a little bit of a hit of this whole thing about being popular. You know? Yeah, I did. I remember my mother, she wanted to, I remember in school that my mother got me a pair of Nikes and stuff like that. She understood about the idea, she supported me looking good, even though she didn't want me to wear cheap material clothes and all that, right? And I didn't press on so much with the Nike and all that stuff, but I like it. I did say I wanted and all that. So I kind of fell for the game too a little bit, even though I've been observing this for a very long time. So yeah, you got the sneakers, so you got the golden pass in school. You got the sneakers and all that. You got the fly sneakers. Back then people say, "Oh man, that sneaker looks fresh." Back then. Yeah, you got the pass, and you walking around with the sneakers, oh man. Oh yeah. Girls looking at you, right? Oh yeah, that was fun back then. Yeah, I really fall into that game about being popular. And sometimes, even today, sometimes I fall into a little bit here and there. I mean, for example, on my Twitter account, or YouTube, or wherever I go on the internet. My own mind, I'll use myself as an illustration. My own head tells me that, my own mind will suggest to compare myself with somebody else because certain people have more followers than me, right? Or I don't have many subscribers on my YouTube, or I don't have many people view my clips. My own mind will suggest that, and then sometimes I get into that feeling state, and then I start to feel down for a moment. And then I say to myself, wait a minute. I know who I am. I'm going to put myself out there and express myself regardless. I am. I have to keep saying to myself at times that I care less about being popular. I'm not trying to fit in. I say that on my pin message on Twitter. I don't try to fit in. I am what I am. Okay? I have my own style of things. I do my own thing. So I'm not a what do they call that? A cookie cutter. I could be that, but I decide not to. You know? I mean, my own head could suggest to me that fewer people look at my stuff. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do any of these things. I don't have to record. I don't have to inspire people on Twitter. I don't have to do anything. And yet I'm still loved and I'm still worthy. I'm going to put it this way, everybody. Humans are not my God. I'm going to tell you this straight up. Humans are not my God. It's a level within consciousness. Okay? But humans are not my God. So whether you like me or not, your own ego mind, I will care less if you like me or not. But I gotta say this. I know who I am. I am consciousness. I am love. I am worthy. I am bliss. I am joy. I'm all of that. Same goes for everybody else. I'm just talking about how I feel about myself. So, but yeah, I have my moments. I look at my YouTube channel. I look at how many people look at my stuff. But again, I can't let that stop me for who I am. I can't. I really can't. I'm able to see past a lot of these things. And when I have my own moments, I'm going through an experience. But the thing is, the experience I go through doesn't have any significant power over me. I just go into the experience, and I can come right out of it. Just like everybody else. When you go into an experience, you go right out. You don't have to stay stuck with the experience. You know, you don't have to. You wanna work yourself up to be popular all of your experience, go ahead. You're free to do that. I'm free to do that. Well, I don't want to. Because I understand that the idea of being popular is only conditional love. The very people that don't like you in their own ego mind, they're going to suddenly love you. And then they won't like you. Just like the idea about celebrities. We hold them up, right? We hold them up, and then we drag them down. Here's another person, for example, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, I remember months back, he said something. He made a comment. I don't know, it was a racial comment or whatever. I look in Twitter, and I look at people, a lot of people, and I can imagine there was fans of Hulk Hogan for many, many years, I can imagine. They don't even like him. They were talking about ripping his posters down and all those things. I said, wait a minute. You was very sincere that you love Hulk Hogan. But because he made a racial comment, okay, I don't know the latest stuff about it now. I don't really care. Look into it. I just have to grab these things as an example for this clip. But all the people, all the beloved fans talk about how they love Hulk Hogan, but now, suddenly, right, all that's out the window. Again, I just want to say this. This is what divides people. This is what holds people back. Competition in the same mix, too. You're competing to be popular. It's kind of like cousins. Competition and being popular, it's kind of like cousins, but they kind of go hand in hand. So this is what holds a lot of people back. And you accept this, right? You accept this. You think that is just the way of life. It's because you listen to your head. You see, your head is going to tell you, oh, that's just life. You got to get all these accolades. You got to prove something to yourself. You got to do all these things. You got to prove yourself to be worthy to people. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the whole thing about being popular. It is so egotistic. It really is. So, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, okay, I mean, we got popularity goes with money. We got popularity about skin color. We got popularity about whatever. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. All the egotistic labels that we put on ourselves, every single person is deserving. Every single person is worthy, no matter what. Every single person is love, no matter what. Now, if you're not, let me just say this. If you don't want to be around the person physically, fine. But in spirit, you have unconditional love. You wish this person well. Okay? All right, I just had to throw it out there because not everybody are able to want to, by choice, want to be around certain people physically. Okay, fine. It's your choice. Doesn't mean that you're going to hell, okay? Everybody deserves to be loved. Wish the person well, like I said in my other clips. Wish the person well. It's about the energy. It's about the unconditional love, the energy, okay? All right? We're all consciousness, regardless who we all are, okay? Regardless where you're from, okay? I had to really call stuff out because, again, that's what I'm doing. That's why I create my clips. I'm just calling stuff out. I am. Do you think I really give a damn that if people are going to think I'm crazy or I don't make no sense, if people just laugh? When I see people laugh at somebody that's expressing the truth about all things in life, I could feel like the person is twisted, the person that's laughing. But then I realized that, you see, the ego mind is twisted, but you see, there's something beneath that knows the truth about this too. You may laugh at me, right? But deep down beneath your laughter, you understand exactly what I'm talking about because you're consciousness. So, everything is a decision making. We decide to get it for the moment and we decide to not get it. But in spirit, you do understand. You understand everything that I'm saying. How many views I get on YouTube or how many people follow me, everybody's consciousness. So I'm talking to myself. It's self talking to self. So I really don't really care so much about the how many people view me. Let me just go further with this. There's people in the DMT or ayahuasca community, right? I follow certain people that believe in the same thing. They don't follow me or whatever. And I realize this too, this is not just about me, but the pattern what people do things. The thing about being popular is very strange in many ways. You see, being popular, okay, you see, you gotta work, it takes a little work into it. Let me just put it in this angle. You see, certain groups, we have so many different groups, okay? And a lot of these groups that we create are very cliquish, okay? So in order to be accepted, even though you believe on a particular idea, right, then that group, you see, that group is not going to immediately accept you or certain people because they're wrapped into their own ego, right? And they're going to look at you like, well, what do you know? Even though you believe in the same idea as that person. But then again, people is not going to, they're going to look down on you or whatever the case is because whatever goes on in their head. You understand? Whatever goes on in their mind, they're just going to disregard you. So, and that's why people create this idea of a guru. You got certain people act like gurus, right? Thinking that you know more than everybody else. So if somebody else, for example, that comes along that knows or believes in what you believe, but because they don't got the same, how do they call it, status quo? They don't got the same status as you, you're not going to acknowledge that person. You're not going to see that person as your equal. So that person is like what? That person is below you. The popularity thing is so stupid altogether in so many ways. You may not like the person because of their face, or maybe because of their name, or how they speak, or maybe how they present themselves. You're not going to like the person, even though they believe in the same thing what you believe. Strange, isn't it? Wow. I want to close out, say this last part here. I want to talk about politicians real quick. Politicians are another perfect illustration when it comes to popularity. You have a candidate that wants to run for the first time. That person, it's an example now, that person will probably do something to let's say, to create publicity, right? Do some sort of a publicity stunt, whatever. So that candidate made a name for himself, or her name for herself. Person got elected for the first time, right? Person's not following through the things that he or she says that they were going to do for the community, right? A lot of people upset, right? So what it is that a lot of people will say, we're not sure we're going to vote for this person again. So the politician that got elected for the first time will do certain things to get the votes, right? To get because the popularity, see, the media is your measuring stick for politicians. See, the media will say, uh-oh, your popularity is going up. Uh-oh, your popularity is going down. So politicians look at that. They look at that. Say, okay, I got to do something. I have to really follow my word that I'm going to do certain things that I say I was going to do. So I'm going to pass certain bills. So the politician will pass certain bills to get reelected. Okay? And I've seen this pattern in many different ways throughout the political system. Especially, and I'm talking about here in the U.S. So the funny thing about this whole thing is that when most politicians, when they get elected for the second time, and they're about to finish their second term now, right? They will support ideas that in other times throughout their political career, they won't do it. Oh no. Oh no, they won't do it. So let's say Obama's believe certain things that he wouldn't dare to believe because he wants to get reelected. And that's the thing with politicians. You see, politicians is another program in itself. The idea of a politician. You see, the idea itself doesn't understand that if you just be yourself, acknowledging that you are worthy, okay, then that's more than enough. But you see, the idea of the politician doesn't understand that. It's going to do different things. That way you will vote for that person. So yeah, Obama or any other political figure is doing certain things that a lot of people can't believe. But again, if he or she will do or follow certain ideas, that person will never get reelected. Here's another thing. It's so funny about, I've seen patterns like this too. Whenever a politician, for example, let's say they are not in office no more, they will say certain things that they would never say in their political career. It's like a career suicide. Certain politicians or certain people say certain things. I used to always laugh at that. When you have people that speak out, and it's always a former somebody that's part of an entity. Let's say somebody that works in NASA. Or somebody, right? Or it could be a military person. Or somebody. They speak out. Or a former president or a former senator. They will speak out. I say to myself, why can't they have the balls, okay, to say that while they're in that position? Do you know why? It's because they're afraid. Their own ego wrapped them up. But now they have the courage to speak out on certain things. But you know what, everybody? Regardless of the person, whether the person decides to have balls or not to talk, you see, that person deserves to be worthy. That person is deserving like everybody else. I'm just calling out the funniness, the whole thing about the idea about being popular and about people doing certain things in order to, it's based on fear. So you don't want to speak out. You don't want to create weight because you're going to lose popularity and your career is going to go down. interesting how we do things. Not everybody. It doesn't apply to everybody, but very interesting. It's like I've been seeing this pattern for a very long time. It's always a former senator, a former president, a former person from NASA, or a former police officer, a former military personnel. They speak out all this stuff. I'm like, wow. I'm being honest with you, everybody. I say this to myself, why are they saying this now? It's the same pattern. I've been seeing it for years. Anyway, I just wanted to cover a great deal about the idea of popularity and what it does. And again, it's very egotistic, okay? No matter who you are, no matter what you do in your life, everybody is deserving. Everybody. And that right there, that unconditional love, like my friends say, and I definitely, she was right on the ball. Like it was just, that's just great. A great alternative for popularity is unconditional love. Okay? So, we're all equal. That's the thing. Your ego, your own head's not going to tell you that the person next to you is your equal. It's not. Your own head's going to tell you that, oh, he or she doesn't have that, or she is this skin color, or let's say if you're a man and oh no, she's a woman. How can she be my equal? I'll give you so many examples, everybody. So many examples. But your own head is going to suggest to you that no, the person next to you is not your equal. Again, I'm going to say this before I close out. The things that we hold ourselves back, this is what keeps humanity small. But like I said, it's an experience. It is. And I'm not just human. And I'm going to say this. Humans are not my God. We are all God. Okay? In spirit, we are God. Yes, in this flesh, in this body, been created by source of life. We are God. But what I mean, let me just say this very carefully in case nobody doesn't get what I'm saying. When I say that humans are not God, are not my God, I'm talking about the human level of consciousness. The human level of consciousness. Humans are not my God. I'm not going to go about doing certain things in order to be loved by people. I'm not going to, get a stroke and feel sick because certain people are not following me. I don't give a damn. I'm just being flat out honest. I'm not angry. I'm just being very firm and honest here. I don't give a damn. I am what I am. I have my own style of things. Okay? I don't try to fit into groups. I did express about my moments, about the idea of popularity and my focus level, about people not following me, how many people look at my clips. So yes, sometimes I have my moments that I have to put my focus back. I'm like, forget that. I know who I am. So I have to focus. I'm talking about focus on something that's meaningful. Focus on something that's uplifting. I'm not going to focus whether people accept me or not. I'm not. Everybody's consciousness. Myself, okay? We're talking about the self. Loves me. I am worthy and I am loved. So I want to make it clear just one more time what I mean when I say humans are not my God. So, all right, everybody. I know it's a little bit long chapter. This clip here is a little bit longer than most of it. Well, I do my best to keep it under a certain time, but I just have so much to express and so many different examples I had to talk about and I had to share about this movie, the Peanuts. I really enjoy that movie. Check it out. It's a very fun movie. And yeah, that's all I have to say on part 38. That's all. I will be back for part 39. Take care.